I'm Rinde Adebayo, digital entrepreneur, real estate entrepreneur, coming to you with another video. And welcome to Ask. Today I want to talk to you guys about how to buy a foreclosed home. I actually just bought a property down the street. It's a foreclosure that I've had now for about maybe a month and a half. And I'm going to show you how I bought the property. And I'm also going to talk to you about what happens afterwards and how I not only source my properties, but also what I do to them to actually get top market value when I go to sell. So this is kind of a unique experience and difference. I normally do videos regarding helping. That's what we focus on. So our primary business is helping people in foreclosure and dealing with that. But every now and then what happens basically is I also invest in real estate. So people come to me with properties, attorneys and investors, etc. And the opportunity is good, so I take it. Most of the properties that I buy are distressed situations where the people want to get out of it, meaning like this one here that I got is a probate situation. So they just wanted to get out. They didn't want to have to handle the property. And so we got this property really at, I would say, cents on the dollar. Very good situation. The spread on this is probably around between $200,000 to $250,000. And we're pretty much going to flip the property. I'm going to show you the inside of it. We've already done some work there. We've completely gutted the property. We're going to renovate this and put it on the market for full retail value and what we can get out of it. As many of you know, I'm a top realtor here in Bergen County. And location is important, but also price is a huge factor, and especially when you're trying to buy a foreclosed home. So I'm going to scan the neighborhood, show you what it looks like. Come on in, let me show you the property, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. So this is the neighborhood. Like I said, I always buy in good areas. It's a very quiet, family-friendly street. I actually have property near here already, so I know the area and I know the market, I would say fairly well. I already have my crew do some work. As you can see, when we walk up closer, you're going to see a dumpster there. All right, so let's go in and take a look at the house. I'll show you actually what we're working on, what we've done so far. I've got a dumpster here. I've had the dumpster here, I would say probably maybe for about now, my demo crew got out of here maybe 3 days ago. So we've had the dumpster here for maybe 2 weeks. If you're able to get a deal like this in a good area, it makes all the difference because people want to live, people like safety, and also they like a good school system, especially for families. So you have a better and a higher chance of getting more money for the property if they got a good school system. So this property was not like this when we got it. Obviously, we completely gutted the property, and that's what we're doing, gutting the whole thing. A lot of times you'll see, I'm going to put this down so I can talk to you guys. So a quick plug, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Life Nation One. I'm going to leave a link to where you can get their apparel below and check them out. Life Nation. So how do you buy foreclosure? So there are a few ways that actually you can buy foreclosure. One of the ways obviously is buying directly from the homeowner. As I've shared many times, and as you know, I'm one of the top foreclosure specialists here regarding real estate, just primarily in the tri-state area, but also nationwide. And many people are going through this because they fall behind on their mortgage payments, they fall behind on the property, the taxes, a variety of things, and the property falls into foreclosure. So that then the property then needs to either be sold or they can't afford the property, so they find ways to actually get themselves out from under the debt. So sometimes you can find homeowners that are motivated that want to actually sell, and you can buy the property directly from them. Obviously, another way would be to find the property on the market, meaning that you find a realtor and you find someone who either specializes or is helping you find a property, and you're looking to buy something that somewhat of a bargain. And so you are asking them to look at properties such as short sales or foreclosures that you like to see those and pay and put an offer in on it. Now, let me say this: whenever you're buying a property and is in foreclosure, depending on the condition of the property, you may be able to get a mortgage for it. And if it's not in mortgageable condition, then you'll have to pay cash for it. Generally, 9 times out of 10, I pay cash for all my properties. But like I said, this particular property here, it wasn't like this when we got it. We actually gutted it, in about a week or so. So when we got this property, there was the walk-in area. It was like an entry den area. There was the kitchen here. There was a bathroom there. Where we're standing in now is the dining room, and there's a living room behind me. And the place, we actually gutted the place out entirely. Now, I said that to say this. If this property was like this when I actually purchased it, I would have had to buy, I would have been mandated to buy cash. I bought it cash because I had the wherewithal to be able to do that. But at the condition where it was, with all the walls and everything in place, I was able to buy the property. I could have bought the property with a mortgage. So number two, the second way to actually buy a property would be actually using, buying the property on the open market. Sometimes that's tougher because obviously you're competing with other people. So there are other buyers that are competing, and you'll sometimes have properties that have multiple offers on it. So I like, obviously, to go off the beaten path, and I like to actually deal with homeowners directly in the situation or cases where they want to sell. So in those situations, then we'll deal with them directly, and we'll work with them on, there's something that is a win-win for everyone. The third way to buy a property, a foreclosure property, would be at the auction. And most municipalities have sheriff sale or auctions of homes that are foreclosed on. You can go there, but there again, you're going to be bidding on the property. So that means you're going to have competition. There are other people, other investors that are going to the auctions, and they're buying those properties. They're bidding for those properties. A lot of times, what you'll need to do is you'll need to do your homework on the property. So for example, if you see a property on the list that is coming up for auction, you want to probably do a little background of it, where you'll drive by the property and see what you can see from the outside as best as possible, as what condition the property may be in. A lot of times you won't be able to get inside the property, so it's a chance and a gamble that you take. But when you go to the auction in New Jersey here, they require you to come with a 20% down payment or deposit. So if you're planning on bidding on a property that's, say, $100,000, that may bid up $100,000, you need to go to the auction with $20,000. That's our threshold here. Other parts of the country may be different. Like I said, we're in a judicial foreclosure state, so the process of foreclosure and the process of executing the foreclosure by the sheriff is followed through the judicial system. Other states are non-judicial, where they just have it on the courthouse steps, and it's a whole totally different process. And then the fourth way to actually buy a property, foreclosure property, would be through what is called REOs. So let's say, for example, someone falls behind, they go through the entire process, they lose the house at the sheriff's sale, meaning that at the sheriff's sale, no one buys the property, no one bids on the property. Well, then the bank at the sheriff's sale will have their attorney at the sheriff's sale. Their attorney is going to then take the property back for either $1 or $100. It all depends. They'll take the property back. When they take the property back, then the bank is considered, then that is considered a purchase by the plaintiff, meaning that the plaintiff then bought the property back, has taken the rights back of the property. Now that bank is then going to go ahead, and the first thing they're going to do is they have companies that work for them that are management companies, and what they do is they winterize a property. So they will actually take the property, have their crew come in, they will basically winterize it. If you're in the Northeast like we are, they will make sure that the pipes are secure against freezing. They don't want pipes bursting and the floor buckling and all of those things. They'll pretty much insulate and secure the property against further damage so that they can hold on to it, and for what is called a gestation period. That gestation period can be up to 18 months. And that's an incubation period, so to speak, where the bank is then going through all the processes in the background. They're making sure that chain of title is revised. These things take time. A lot of these banks have a lot of files and a lot of product and a lot of properties that are in their portfolios. So there's a whole process between the legal side of it and basically making sure that deeds are recorded, and that they're going through the entire process. And then there is also a timeline that they have to hold on to the property before they can then turn around and put it back on the market. So what is called the gestation period, they go through that period, and then they have what is called REO agents. These REO agents are pretty much bank. They work with the bank. They have gotten pools of properties from the bank, and their thing is they actually focus primarily on bank-owned properties. So those people would then put the property up on the market, on the open market, on the MLS, and then people can actually see the properties and then use their agents or go to them directly to buy it. So now the bank has taken the property back from the foreclosure sale, held on to it, winterized it, and now they're going to put it back up. And a lot of times they want, as much as they can get for the property. So that's another way to buy foreclosure. Fifth way I want to share, and this will probably be my last point. There are other ways, but I want to just keep this video short. You can buy properties the way I bought this property, and that's through probate. So many times, probate situations are unique, and they're probably the most, I would say, my preference, because you have a situation where the heirs of a property, someone has died, they have, whether they died intestate or testate, they've left the property in the hands of a homeowner, a loved one, that they have entrusted to be able to execute and take care of their affairs after they're deceased. And so what happens basically is that, I'll paint a little picture for you. So someone passes away, and the parent leaves the property to their son or their daughter. Their son or their daughter has a family already. They have a wife or a husband, they have children, they have their own house, they have their own responsibility, they have their own utilities they have to take care of. But then this person left the property, and they did not have money to be able to, enough reserves to be able to carry this property for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Taking care of the utilities, taking care of the water bill, taking care of the electric bill, taking care of the lawn maintenance, the grass maintenance, taking care of just basically all the things that I talked about, the plumbing. And so when this person who's gotten the property has been assigned as an executor, an executrix of the estate, they're saddled with the responsibility of taking care of the affairs of the estate. I just closed on the property just a few weeks ago, and that was the exact situation, where the person actually was the executrix of the estate. She was saddled with the entire responsibility of the property, and it was a complete burden. So when they have that type of a burden, they're not looking to hold on to the burden any longer, because nobody really wants stress. Nobody wants trauma. So they want to be able to get rid of it. So in those situations, they're more open to be able to discuss, options that will be best for the estate, to basically liquidate the property and get the money and use it for things that need to settle the estate, but then also to grant and honor the. So if you're actually in foreclosure and you need help and you need to actually figure out a way forward, you can always reach out to me. My email address is askrindenow@gmail.com. You can also call us at 201-855-7575. As I've shared many times, our primary business is helping people in foreclosure. If you're in a situation like a probate thing, and you have a property that's pretty much giving you a lot of issues, and you're just tired of it, whether you're a tired landlord or you're just a tired homeowner and you just can't take it anymore, and you need help to get out from under it, please give me a call. You can also go to my website, foreclosurelive.com, and register, and give you a few helpful tips that I find that many people don't talk about, and that is, real estate is not for the faint of heart. It takes a lot of courage for someone to actually take a step forward of home ownership. I think it's everyone's dream. And, buying a foreclosure should not be an opportunity for you to take advantage of someone or to pretty much, gain on someone else's loss. I always believe in doing things at a win-win. And I find that life, has its moments for all of us. So I think that, going forward and trying to look for foreclosure, look for an opportunity where you're buying something fairly, that it's a win for everyone, and it's a gain for them, it's a gain for you. Now, if you're going to be buying real estate in general, whether you're buying foreclosure or not, there are things that you really need to have in place. And one of the key things, being an investor and being in real estate for 16 years, I bought my first property when I was 22, and I started this journey early on. One of the key things that you're going to learn and need in this business, you need to have a good contractor, because that could make or break you. You may be able to negotiate a property and find yourself in a good situation where you have potential spread, but that can lessen depending on who you have. So like, for example, my crew that I use, these people are able to get in and out of here within like 4 days, and that's because we have a system and we work together. I trust them, they trust me, and we work together for some time. So that helps, because if you're getting into the business and you're trying to actually buy a property, there are a lot of people that lose their shirt. A lot of times when you find real videos on YouTube and etc., Facebook and all these other outlets, and online, you find all these success stories. There's a lot of horror stories as well. And so people like me who've been in the game for a long time, we take our time, we buy carefully, we know that we need to be strategic overall, because Like for example, this property here, you know, this was a 3-bedroom when we got it. And my architect is working on making this a 4-bedroom. That's going to be a game changer when it comes time for me to sell it retail. But I really need a good contractor. I need a good architect. I need a good plumber. I need a good electrician. You know, I need to have relationships with the city when it comes time to to pass inspections and all these things. So these are things that I want to basically just give tidbits and kind of like you know, just alert you to, that you'll need to factor in and have in place. Because, and then also lastly, before I forget, from that list, you need a good real estate agent. If you're in New Jersey and you need help with a property, obviously you can reach out to my office. We sell real estate in New Jersey, 201-855-7575. But you really do need good representation in all those areas, and you need a good team, because the team is going to make the difference between you holding onto this property for a long time, losing money, versus you being able to get out of the property quickly and take your profits and move on to either the next property or to something else. So that's just a little quick tip. You can email me if you have more questions. My email is askRindeNow@gmail.com, and look forward to connecting with you. Thank you guys for watching.